All right, today we're diving into something that's, well, a pretty huge deal in the world of AI. We're talking about taking those giant, powerful language models, the ones usually owned by big tech, and bringing them home. Yep, running them right on your own computer.
I mean, think about it. Just a little while ago, the whole idea would have sounded like something straight out of a sci-fi movie, right? We've all gotten so used to AI being this distant thing that lives on some massive server farm somewhere. But what if you could actually flip that script? What if all that incredible power was right there on your machine, completely under your control?
Well, the answer is a big, emphatic yes. It's possible, and honestly, it's changing everything. This isn't just some fringe experiment for academics anymore. It's a real, practical thing for developers, researchers, and hey, even just curious folks like you and me. And you've got to understand, this is way more than just a neat tech trick. It's a total change in how we interact with AI. We're moving from just using it to actually owning it.
Okay, so first things first. Why would you even want to do this? Why bother running an AI on your own machine? Well, the reasons are actually pretty powerful, and they really get to the heart of what it means to be in control of your own tech. Let me ask you this. Have you ever stopped yourself right before pasting some sensitive code or a private document into one of those public chatbots? You know, that little hesitation? If you have, you already understand the #1 reason: privacy. And for all you developers out there, if you've ever winced while watching your API build just go up and up and up with every single test, well, you get the other half of the equation: the cost.
Look, going Ocl just solves these issues, plain and simple. First off, complete data privacy. Your stuff, your prompts, your files, they never, ever leave your machine. That's a huge deal. Second, that ticking clock of subscription fees or API costs, poof, gone, zero. You can also work completely offline, which is amazing. And maybe the best part, you have total control. You pick the models, you customize them, you build exactly what you want, how you want. Your rules.
And the best news of all, you don't need to be some machine learning guru to pull this off. Not anymore. There's this whole ecosystem of amazing tools that has popped up, making it surprisingly easy to get started. So let's dive in and meet some of the main players.
Okay, to get a handle on all the options out there, it helps to think of them in 3 main groups, or archetypes. First, you've got the tools for developers, the ones that live in the command line. Then there are the more visual tools, which are perfect for just exploring and playing around. And finally, you have the heavy-duty stuff, the production powerhouses built to run AI for lots of people. So on this slide, you're really seeing 2 totally different ways of thinking. On one side, you have Allama. This is for the coders, the people who are comfortable in a terminal. It's super fast, it's efficient, and it's perfect for automation and scripting. Then on the other side, you have LM Studio. This is a beautiful graphical app. Seriously, if you know how to use a basic chat program, you can use LM Studio. It's all about making it super easy to explore different models and see how they stack up against each other.
And this quote here from Rientech really just nails it. It says, Allama feels like using Git or Docker. For a developer, that makes perfect sense. Typing a simple command into the terminal feels like second nature. It's designed to just get out of your way and work, plugging right into the flow of how you already do things. But okay, what if you're doing more than just messing around on your own laptop? What if you're trying to build a real application? Something that needs to serve a whole bunch of users at the same time? Well, that's where our third category comes into play, the production powerhouses. Yeah, these tools are playing a whole different ballgame. We're talking stuff that's built to run in Docker and Kubernetes, the tools for serious, reliable deployment. They're designed from the ground up to handle tons of requests from many different users all at once. And here's a killer feature. A lot of them are compatible with the OpenAI API. That means you can take an app that was using a cloud service and switch it over to your own local model with almost no code changes. They are built for one thing and one thing only: performance at a massive scale.
All right, so we've talked about the different kinds of tools, but, talk is cheap. Let's look at some actual data. We're going to have a little showdown here. Ollama, our champion of single-user simplicity, versus vLLM, a true production powerhouse. Let's see what happens when we really put the pressure on.
We always hear these tech buzzwords, right? Like high throughput or low latency. But what does that actually mean in the real world? How does it feel to a user? Well, let's find out. Let's imagine we have hundreds of people all trying to use our AI at the exact same time. And whoa, the difference is just staggering. Take a look. This chart shows us throughput. Think of it as how many words or tokens the AI can spit out per second for all users combined. On the one hand, you have vLLM just crushing it, churning out almost 800 tokens a second. And then there's Allama.
It's designed for one person, so under this kind of load, it just hits a wall at 41. I mean, that's not even a fair fight. VLLM is generating text nearly 20 times faster when things get busy.
Okay, but what about how fast it feels? You know, how long do you have to wait for the first word of the answer to appear? For this chart, lower is better. And again, VLLM is incredibly responsive. We're talking a worst-case wait of 80 milliseconds. That's faster than you can blink. But look at Ollama. Because it handles requests one after another, the wait time just skyrockets. If you're user number 50, you have to wait for the first 49 people. For a user, that is the difference between feeling like the app is instant and feeling like it's broken.
So, here's the really important takeaway. This isn't about one tool being good and the other being bad. Not at all. It's about using the right tool for the right job. Ollama is fantastic for what it's designed for, making local AI super easy and fast for a single person. And VLLM is brilliant at its job, serving that AI to tons of people at once, reliably.
That speed test was pretty revealing, right? But here's the thing. Pure speed isn't the only thing you should care about. To really make a smart choice, we need to zoom out a bit and look at the bigger picture.
And to get that bigger picture, you have to do something called benchmarking. It sounds technical, but really it just means you're measuring everything that actually matters. It's not just how fast is it, it's also how good are the answers, and even how much VRAM or power does it chew through. You're looking at the whole package.
And that leads us to this, the performance trade-off triangle. It's this constant balancing act between three things. You've got performance, how fast it is, you've got quality, how good the answers are, and you've got resources, what it costs you in terms of hardware, VRAM, and power. You can push one corner, but it'll probably affect the others. Want the absolute best quality with a giant model? It's probably going to be slower and need a monster GPU. Want it to be super efficient? You might have to sacrifice some speed or quality. You can't max out all three at once.
And this right here is the #1 lesson from all the serious research on this stuff. There is no single best option. It just doesn't exist. The right choice for you depends entirely on what you're trying to do. You know, building a little chatbot on a tiny Raspberry Pi is a completely different problem than building a code-writing assistant for a high-end workstation. Your mission defines what best means.
Okay, so with that whole trade-off triangle in our heads, how do we actually make a choice? Let's get practical. I'm going to boil all this down into a simple guide to help you figure out where to start.
Just ask yourself, what's my mission? If you're a developer, you live in the command line, and you want to automate things, Ollama's your go-to. Easy choice. If you're more of a visual person and you want to just play around, easily swap out models, and maybe show a demo to someone non-technical, then LM Studio is perfect for you. But if your mission is to go big, to build a real scalable app for lots and lots of users, then you need to step up to one of the powerhouses, like VLLM or Local AI.
So look, running AI locally isn't some weird niche thing anymore. It's a real, powerful, and surprisingly accessible world. It puts the control right back where it belongs, with you. Your data stays private, your creativity is the only limit. So, we've laid out the map for you. The only question left is, what are you going to build with it?